Y'all ready?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yo, what's going on? This is Jay.
It's B.
This is Lit Logic. We are on episode 11.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for rocking with us, this long.
Pause.
This way, God. We got a returning guest, my man Brando, back in the building. To give us insight.
What's up?
So, today we're going to be talking about this whole Lil Boosie situation. It's been having social media on fire. So, we're going to discuss this, and give our opinions on this. So, for those that don't know or haven't been paying attention, Lil Boosie paid an adult woman to give head to his 12-year-old son. And it's been causing a lot of controversy amongst, the community and stuff. So, we're going to, chime in on that. So, I'll say this, before everyone gets all, bent out of shape. The shit was wrong. Okay. Let's just all agree, he shouldn't have did that shit. That shit is, bad. But there's some thin lines in between everything, and we're going to discuss.
And some double standards.
There is some double standards.
Double standards.
We're going to get into that. So
I can't wait. So Brando, how do you feel, about the whole situation personally, from your point of view? If you were Boosie, or looking on the outside in, how do you feel about that?
Well, Boosie lost my support at any point when he admitted the purpose of him doing all of that was to make sure his son, and by the way, there was other boys too with him, his cousin with him like that, but make sure that, especially his son, obviously, that they were all covered. In other words, they were experienced, they don't have to worry about, wondering if they're gay or if they're straight. This is what it's about. And that they don't have to worry about struggling in the sex game, they got a head start, but they're good. He made sure that was never going to be a problem. Which, sadly for him, in today's world, that's not going to guarantee it. We have people who end up being gay, lesbian, starting out being straight, even if they had sex at an earlier age at any point. So that's not going to guarantee it, number one. But it's kind of like Boosie did it to be selfish, and he was so scared and homophobic, that was the encouragement of him doing that. Right. Now, in some cases, it's not always about homophobia and being homophobic like that. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. In most cases, this happens where celebrities try to have their sons, get hooked up. Usually they're a little bit older than 12. Yeah. In that case, maybe at least teenager at that. But the main issue, Javon said, that the woman who did it is grown, 25 or older. Not their age or even a teenager. She's full grown. And that's where the problem lies, because it's still statutory rape in the sense that's, even the parent gave consent, that's still kind of wrong. And then it's another problem is now, the dark side of this, now you're basically giving Boosie's son and the other boys, the mentality, this is what girls are made for. This is what the best part of getting a woman is for sexual aspects. The hell with falling in love like that. If she ain't given head the first date, she had the second date, what the hell am I doing with you? I got it at 12. What do I need to take you out on a date? The best you can do for me is give me head. I've seen the top of the mountain.
Who said that? But in the great words of Pastor Troy, she won't see tomorrow if she ain't cutting tonight.
Well, I think, in that aspect of what you was explaining, that him being a kid of a celebrity, his life is going to be a little bit different anyway.
Always.
So right. He's going to pretty much have access to it,
regardless,
whenever, because of who his dad is.
Right.
So, I think in that aspect, it'd be all right, how he, decides to do his journey as far as how he treats women and stuff. I think, that falls on him. But, this whole thing really started taking heat because, the comparison of, him having sex with or getting head from an older woman, and then D Wade's son, who was the same age, wanting to become a woman or whatever the case may be. Okay. And people are trying to compare the two, whatever the case may be. And I feel like there's some double standards when it comes to that.
Yep.
Because someone's sexual preference or whatever the case may be is kids are still confused at that age, at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sit there and say at 12 years old, you know, you might know that you liked women or whatever the case may be, but you were still confused about other aspects of life. And people got to stop excusing one thing and then being okay with another. Just because, you know, say, for example, you know, your kid said he wants to, you know, a 12-year-old say, hey, Mom, I want to, or hey, Dad, I want to, you know, stop going to school and become a lizard. Like, I want to wear, like, paint my skin, like, green, cut my tongue, and become a lizard.
There's some people that did that.
There is some people that did that.
But some people...
But that's the thing. People sit there and say, oh, you got to love your kids unconditionally, this, that, and third. But then I think that only goes under certain situations where they're okay with it because of how society is right now. And, you know, they'd be okay with you wanting to be a woman because that's the acceptable thing now. But you wouldn't be okay with your son going to quit school at 12 years old and become a lizard.
Right.
You'll sit there and be like, nah, you ain't doing that. You're going to go to school. You're going to act regular. But if that person wants to decide to be a woman or a man or whatever the case may be, then it's, oh, you got to love your kids unconditionally, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's bullshit. You love your kids with conditions because if that was the case, your kids would do anything.
Plus, it's like bullshit because it's like people say that and would never go through that. You want to love your kid unconditionally, but you don't know the struggle of that when you get tested. Like, you get that experience where, oh my God, now you have a son, I have a girl, like Dwayne Wade's case. Not only is the son apparently gay like that, but he wants to be dressed as she, or wants to be, you know, considered having a sex change. Now, Dwayne, to his credit, he feels, okay, I can support that, cool. But most people who are saying that you gotta love your kids unconditionally, but they haven't been faced with such a situation.
They've never been in that situation.
And it's like, speaking for me personally, that was my son. Only part of that I would support is, okay, you have attraction to males. If they ain't 12, first of all, if he was 12, I'd be like, you ain't done anything in life, you ain't been out there, you make a decision like that.
You don't even know.
So yeah, I'm gonna reach out to kind of like, yeah, you might need to try, you know, I don't know, you 12 years old, kid, so you probably ain't really, you ain't dating nobody, so yeah, you can't really tell, but let's just have to go through that process, that's trial and error, and you still like dudes. Okay,
that's another thing. Like, how you decide you want to change your whole gender?
Yeah, 12. Like,
usually when I think somebody want to change their gender, that they are attracted to the same sex, whatever the case may be. So you haven't even really been on no dates. You haven't really fell in love with nobody. You haven't even really been in no situation to really know what it is that you really want to do. But yet here you go. Oh, I want to be, you know, a woman. And I think that is more so influential because, you know, before, you know, when D-Wade started, I'm not going to try to put all this on Gabby, whatever the case may be, but before D-Wade was dating Gabby, he wasn't doing all this stuff. He started dating Gabrielle Union, then this nigga started getting his toes painted, his clothes started getting a little tighter. He started wearing like ankle bracelets and shit. This nigga sitting with his legs crossed and wearing high ass shorts and shit. Like, I think that. No, these shits was like freaking like all the way up like here, bro. Like
it was something,
like it wasn't like
no. You mean the 1970s? That's what dudes used to wear.
Nah, bro, this shit looked like some women's shorts.
Oh, yeah,
this nigga had some women's shorts on with his legs crossed.
He's on Prince level now.
So I really
Prince, no shade.
You know, not
Prince still got girls. So
yeah, Prince is really the only
high heels.
Prince is probably the only man on the planet who could like do that and probably get more girls.
Prince the only dude on the planet that can share mascara with his woman and still have guys think he's the coolest thing on earth.
Prince the only man on the planet where it's like he could be dressed with mascara and high heels, ass and chaps. I still not trust my girl around him because he just might take it. Like in other words, he'll just reach a level that no straight heterosexual man could ever reach, and then it's kind of like she would willingly go.
Y'all missing the major factor. Money played a big role. It can't be no regular nigga doing that.
Well, no.
In today's world, no, I can't. In today's world, I can't.
Even back then,
in general, like
even back then, niggas like him and Dennis Rodman, they got away with that shit because they had money. If it was some regular nigga doing that shit, they would have thought.
And then on top of that, with him, Dennis Rodman, or you got rappers like Young Thug that wears females' clothes, or even Lil Uzi, he wears females' jewelry and clothes. You got guys like that. It's all in the concept of people fear what they don't understand. Because at the end of the day, some of them guys don't even know why they do what they do. They just because you at Dennis Rodman said in the interview, she asked, "Why do you wear that stuff?" He said, "I just like it." Yeah. He doesn't know why.
Right.
He just likes
it.
Weird.
Like it makes him.
It fits his personality.
Right.
So for somebody like Dennis or a young thug, like you said before, they can date girls. They can have sex with women. They probably still like men. There's interviews of Dennis Rodman sitting there saying he fantasizes about having sex with other guys, but he still likes women. People don't understand that. So when you categorize,
I can't get that.
It's weird, but
say what you want. No, that's weird. It's me.
It's weird.
Yeah. So getting back to this whole situation, I guess people were comparing the two because the age thing, and people were praising one and then kind of like dissing the other, and rightfully so because it was wrong. Whatever the case.
Well, they're even dissing it harder because he was the front man on the D Wade and his son, or daughter, whatever you want to call.
He's a son.
Okay, his
son.
His son.
I was about to say under these circumstances, like,
yeah, bro, like
I was not.
But he was the vocal of he was so against it, And to some people looking at that, they was like, "Oh, well, Boosie probably thinks he's the perfect dad in the world." And then this story comes out. Now, them same people that was on D Wade's side, about what he's doing with his son, is looking at Boosie like, you fucked up.
Yeah, like this.
Damn,
that type of stuff. Like we.
Damn, I was about to not curse. I said I cursed.
So what?
I was about to go the whole episode without cursing.
Nigga, you curse every episode.
I know. I was trying to do this one.
I know we're not allowed to curse.
No, we curse. I just try not to curse.
But
to make that point, when I was 12 years old, all of us, when we were 12 years old, like you said, we didn't know. Like when I was 12 years old, I used to have Real Sex on the volume of 1 with Cartoon Network on the last button.
Exactly. Here's the thing: we was all 12 years old, but for the most part, none of us had sex yet. None of us had sex yet. But we knew we liked girls, but none of us had sex yet. So until we had sex, we couldn't really determine what we was going to do.
But you made that decision on your own.
Exactly.
It's like
I made that decision on my own at the age of 12 when I got older, which path I was going. Right. I feel like a parent, even with Boosie's situation or Dwayne's situation, I feel like as a parent, you can only put your hand in that situation
nature has to take its course at some point anyway.
They're going to be whatever they're going to be.
Right.
You can't force them not to be one way or be another way. They're going to be whatever they want to be.
My thing is this: you can just explain, how things is kind of how they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
and then whatever they decide to do after that, that's on them. And that's the thing when that whole situation, that D Wade shit came up. I was trying to explain to people. People just wasn't trying to grasp that whole idea. Like say if you're in a situation where you're a son, and you only have siblings as like sisters. You only have sisters.
Yeah. So
in those kind of situations, you kind of get confused because one, you don't have a brother.
Okay.
So if you're in a single household, you might even be more confused if your mom's just a single mom, and you growing up, you seeing your sisters playing with dolls or in dresses and all the other stuff, and then you not knowing any better might want to try to put on a dress or play with dolls or whatever, and then that's when, as a parent, you're supposed to be like, listen, you're not supposed. You're a boy. You don't play with that stuff. You play with this, that, and third. And if for some reason this generation is just okay with letting their kids do whatever and then grow up however, growing up confused.
You can call us conservative or old school, but talking about kids at that age, like if you give your parent and you have a son and you give them the option, here's a bunch of what I used to play with as a kid, Green Army Men, old school Green Army Men, or Barbie dolls.
Damn, boy, you brought it back.
Yeah, the Green Army Men, and you got Barbie dolls. Your job is to tell your child as a parent, like, this is what your boy, you play with them. Yeah. If you have a daughter, you play with Barbie doll. Like, they can choose what they want to do, but you have the right as a parent to like kind of guide them the way. but nature still takes its course. Because sometimes parents do that, and the boys
and
still play the Barbie dolls.
And that's okay.
Like, once a girl plays the Barbie, like
once your kid becomes an adult, they can do what they want to do. But stop trying to force this type of stuff on kids. Stop trying to make it seem like, oh, it's okay, and not step in and be a parent.
Yeah, like one of the things, God rest his soul, my papa, Jeffrey, used to say, as your guardians, your family, parents, whatever, grandparents, we can give you the tools, but we can't build your foundation.
Right.
You have to build that. You have to build the path you want to go on. You can give your kids the tools, but you can't build their foundation. You can't build their path for them. They have to make their own path. Just as when you were younger, you made your own path. When you got in trouble, you figured out, do I still want to keep getting in trouble, or do I want to change it up and go another direction? Exactly. That's and you learned that, and that made you who you are today. So for parents that have kids, like I said, you can have your hand in that situation where you see your son going for a Barbie doll. Like, hey, look, dude, we don't do that. This is what you do. Mm-hmm. Now, you that's it. If you want to go to explain more, that's your right as a parent. That's every right as a parent. But trying to sit there and be like, oh, well, you're playing with Barbie dolls, so you must want to be a girl. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to change your wall colors to pink. And we're going to change your bed. We're going to change the way you are. Instead of calling you Tim, I'm going to call you Tamantha. Like, no, you don't do that. You don't do that.
But that's the world
we live in.
That's the world we live in. That's the world we live in now.
You let them decide what they want to do. Because your kid will resent you if you try.
We gotta stop picking and choosing when we decide to be a parent and when we don't decide to be a parent.
Yeah,
we gotta stop. We gotta stop like going by the ideals of society. Like, this is okay, this, that, and third. It's not okay. It's okay when you're an adult and you make your own decisions. But as a kid, we gotta stop trying to sexualize and having these people like pick their own freaking sexual orientations and stuff, and or be a different gender or whatever the case may be at such a young age. Yeah. Like, they're starting to talk about like having like transgender people in like kids things, and
they got like a gay couple with Disney movies.
They put a we got homosexual character in the new Power Rangers movie.
It's supposed to be. It was a bisexual. Yeah, somebody had.
They didn't say it, but they gestured it. So it's just like
she said it.
Well, yeah,
it was like I'm not okay. Cool. They moved on.
They moved on. They kind of threw the gesture in there, like, hey, we got this in here too.
But Pete, y'all remember Arthur? We was talking about it earlier.
Arthur,
Mr. Ratburn.
Mm-hmm. They just made him like
he had a gay. Lover or whatever, and they had like the wedding on TV and shit. And like, this is stuff I'm talking about.
But that's the way that goes to your point. They just added that, like,
they just threw that out there.
He never talked about his lover like that for like all my childhood. Now he's going to add that.
They did that because they threw that as a test run to see how you respond with people.
But it's trying to like prove this narrative.
Nobody's asking this rapper had a partner. Like, why are you even giving the teacher a partner? If one guy or girl.
They just want to just put this out there, and these kids are too young to have that type of stuff being put out there.
Right.
That's the thing. My thing is, there's nothing wrong with being gay, lesbian, transgender, none of that stuff. We're not saying that. We're saying that to have this stuff forced on kids at a young age is just not, it's not good. It's not right.
It's not. But at the same time, I do applaud Boosie and D-Wade because they're trying. And you gotta look at.
I'm saying
they're trying. Yeah, they're trying as a parent, but they don't know because
they're being fathers to their,
But and then not to make no excuses for D-Wade, but some of his circumstances is leading to what he was raised in single household moms. So with him, he's probably using his upbringing, in a way to try to do that with his kids, but it's not the same. Like, some people gotta understand what you went through ain't gonna be the same what your kids are going through. Yeah. They're not the same person.
And coming from experience, like some parents try to, force like how they was raised up
on your kids,
on how they raise you up. And you know that's
not the same.
It's not the same, especially
because it's different. Like you said, in the generations. Like we had to talk about this that one episode. Yeah. Generation. Each generation responds differently to certain things.
Right.
Like same issues. Like nothing changed. Nothing new under the sun. But it's just different variables to each generation. Like different ways of going about it.
Like if you when you were young and you got a spanking. You responded with, all right, I'm not gonna mess up.
Yep.
Let me get my stuff together. Yep. You know, different generation, like generation now, a little bit more softer, sensitive. They get a behind whooping. It's the end of the world.
They not even getting that now.
They ain't getting that now.
I'm saying if they got behind whooping, how it would have been. Different generations.
Yo, bro, stop this not trying to curse shit. It's weird. Like, you're not being yourself. This nigga talking about butt whooping. Like, come on, yo.
Butt whooping.
Ass whooping. Hell.
Ass whooping. But yeah, man.
Meat Satan. I got a lot of terms for that.
Back to this Boosie thing. Like, I get kind of what he was trying to do, but it was like he went about it completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay. Like, at
all.
Well,
not even that. If he was going to go about it in that way, don't let the world know.
Yeah, he should have never put that on.
Never let the world, especially if you was a front runner on how D-Wade is raising his son, because like I said, somebody can look on the other side and be like, yo, bro, that's not how you raise your kids.
It's the same heat that you was kind of throwing at D-Wade, you getting that same heat now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of shot yourself in the foot with that.
Right. And let me ask y'all this.
Okay.
If Boosie did the same thing somehow, some way, but he went about it different, he got a girl that was like around his son's age. Just, maybe not for head, maybe for head too, but it's, he got it for a girl. He somehow convinced the girl's parents, first of all, to do that.
It wouldn't be an issue, I don't
think. Like, would it be an issue? Like, let's just like keep public opinion out of it.
Okay.
Is it, in your opinion, more acceptable
for
the same age to like be doing that, or is it the same thing that you're pushing, you're not letting it take his course? Like, is it different if the girls are around the same age that you're making him be sexually active at some point, you know, kind of forcing him into that mindset instead of let nature take its course, let him do it by nature? Like, is it the same thing, or is it like is it different because it's
to me? It's more so
the principle. I should basically ask.
It's more so that he shouldn't have did that with an older woman. Like, that was the line that was crossed. Like, had he done that with somebody that was, you know, around his son's age or whatever the case may be, then it'd be more acceptable, because all right, people are really upset because of the woman's age. Yeah. Like, they're saying, oh, it's statutory rape, and it is. And that's where a lot of the anger is from. Like, I don't think it would have gotten as much heat. It would have gotten heat for the reason behind it. Right. But the actual act, like, people probably would have been fine with it.
I think, well, in my opinion, first off, if you're 25 years old and you want to, fuck it. If you're 25 years old and you want to suck a 12-year-old's dick, there's something wrong with you. Don't matter if you're getting paid money. Now, what you were saying, if the girl was 12 and he was 12, it would be weird if his dad had a hand in that. Yes, that's weird. But if it was naturally, they met on their own and that's what they did, then by all means, it is what it is. But
because say if you was 12 years old and your pops was like, yeah, I'm getting you this girl and she's 12 years old.
Yeah, but it's like, it's weird because it's like, why are you beating up with a 12-year-old dad?
Me personally, like, that was, my dad did that at that age. I would feel like it's a trap. Only because or either a trap or like, look, you trying to set me up with some shit, or you about to get me in trouble with my ass with the game.
I would get my dad.
Or I'm thinking like, so wait, so you allow me to do this? What am I covering for? In other words, what are you doing?
Yeah, talking to a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I'm be like, I'm saying like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm thinking like, I'm covering like, what are you doing that doesn't sound like whatever you're doing that they didn't do with mom. So I'm like, you let me do something. Normally, whenever you let us do it, you're like, okay, I did. Okay, cool, dude. You can use the room. Wait, what? You sure? What? That's super for me to know my dad is.
Setup.
Yeah, I was thinking setup. This is setup. Like,
y'all talking about.
You would have walked up. You would have walked up in there. Right in there. And your dad would have walked in there with a belt. I knew it.
Right.
Nah, my dad wouldn't been no shit like that.
But I think, but also as a parent,
you can't beat your kids for some shit that you set up. Like, what type of shit is that?
So,
what? Some parents are weird.
What? No, mom does that all the time.
Do what?
Like set you up for ass whooping, like, okay, like to see if you're really gonna do it. For example, like
that's
I left $20 on the table. Don't touch it. I left $20 on the table.
Nah, that's not the same situation. That's a different type of extreme, dog.
I mean, maybe it's I failed and got beat.
That's a different type of extreme.
But I think but Boosie also went wrong from a parent standpoint because now you had a 25-year-old girl who obviously is okay with sucking dicks, who is 12-year-old dicks.
There's something wrong.
So basically, she's obviously promiscuous, and she's like does that with no problem, even with money influencing. I'm gonna suck a 12-year-old's dick. So you're talking 12-year-old dicks and 25-year-old dicks. She might have had something like you might have set your son up for having chlamydia or STD now because you wanted
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Magic Johnson. Yeah, like because you don't know because it's a very good chance because like where do you get this girl from? You can only just do it. Like she probably got malaria or some shit. Like what?
Man. We don't know the details.
I'm just saying like as a parent you went wrong. Like you went wrong for that too. Like you don't know where this lady's from.
It's probably some chick that he know wherever the case may be. But you got money talk, man. He be on his live. You know, show me a pussy, I give you $1,000. They out here legs spread.
I want to see it, man.
Yeah, like you know, I mean, money talk. Like, I'm sorry, like,
look,
but you gotta have some type of freaking like morals or whatever to be like, nah, there ain't enough money in the world to make you want to.
Look, for all the parents out there, stop getting into your kids' business with that in that aspect. Like other stuff, yeah, but that aspect, leave that to nature. If it happens, it's gonna happen.
You can't even say that now, bro.
I couldn't say it.
Like, we all had the freaking like birds and bees talk. So that's
my dad tried to, but then it was too late. I already knew. So
same here.
But no purpose. It was like traditional. Like
it was game over. It was game over by the time they was trying to have that.
I was like, well, I already know about that. You already know. Okay, cool, done.
I was a late bloomer.
Hey, man,
I was a late bloomer.
I'm speaking for me. Like
for me, I knew what it was. I mean, I wasn't doing it, but I knew what it was.
That's the thing. Like, you know, you can have these type of conversations with your kids and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, just trying to go to that extreme is just doing too much.
Now, I know people were like excusing it, saying it's no big deal because obviously it looks like that the son was 100% okay with it at 12 years old. Now, I will say from a 12-year-old, speaking of 12-year-old, I can't speak for 12-year-old girls, but 12-year-old boys, he probably was okay with that before anything happened.
He's probably fucking his
because like people say like he's 12, he wouldn't know any better. No, at 12 years old, you might not have like I'm thinking of
12 years old.
At 12 years old, I knew about it. I just didn't know what.
Yeah, you're attracted to women.
You want to get your top blown off.
Yeah. Boom. Like basically getting your top blown off is like the creme de la creme for you. Like you don't really like. In other words, like the idea of sex really is at 12 years old. Most if you never had it, it's a fantasy, but it's not a reachable fantasy. It's a fantasy that you pray one day you'll get to, but it's not reachable. It's not like I'm gonna ever get to it. The closer you get to that is when you're having a long time, like 12 years old. Close I got to, I know for a fact at 12 years old. Yeah, the idea of sex for me, I was all for it. Like you can't say like you didn't know any better. I'm like, yeah, I definitely knew better at 12 years old.
At 12 years old, I thought all sex was like real sex on TV, and I was like, if that's the case, them niggas wild, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. Wild.
But that's the thing, like
I'm not doing that.
You look at porn trying to get like an idea of what it really is, but until you actually get down to it, you don't really know.
You don't know about it.
You don't know the feeling.
There's motherfuckers that got down to it and still don't know.
You don't know the rumble. Like the people you don't know at that age. So I will say this.
I'm thinking to myself like it's funny. You guys are younger than me by a couple of years. So like y'all 12 girls. Like at that point, my version. When I was watching real sex like that consistently, I was like older. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm taking notes. Like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna try. Yeah. Like at that point, I was like, I was watching real sex. At that point, I'm just like, I'm taking. I'm gonna do it the next week. I was thinking.
This nigga wasn't watching.
I guess
real porn at that time.
I'm at my age of sex. Yeah, I'll turn 43 this year. So when I was 12, it was 1989. I was 12. So my version of that at 12 was. What was it? Destiny's Child came up with the album Right Into the Wall. So I brought the album. It was a good album, but I brought the album because it looked fine as I don't know what. So I'm thinking, yeah, I want to I want to fuck all four of us. Four of them at the time. Fuck all four. Lativia, Latoya, Beyonce, Kelly.
Damn, you know the names?
We can mix Tina with Beyonce's mom and that shit. I was fine. I knew it wasn't going to do it.
Mama could get it too.
I knew it wasn't going to do it, but like the attraction was there. So like, my whole point is like, yeah, at 12 years old, you have the desire for it, but you didn't. I mean, at the same time, I didn't know I was going to do it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do all this, but how am I going to do this shit? Yeah, you knew about you get parent. That's close got to that 12. I'm like, I wasn't saying like, so I'm going to hit it from the back, or I'm going to. I wasn't that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, 12 years old, I wasn't really doing that.
Wasn't that advanced?
Yeah, it wasn't that advanced yet. So, but at the same time, you knew you had attraction to him. So people were saying like, who's son at 12 didn't know the first people he getting consent. He didn't want it. He didn't know what he's doing. No, he probably. He saw the girls like, damn, it's like that. Okay, me. I know we're gonna make this work, but we can give it a shot. Especially put the pieces together. But
you gotta look at it now. Like 12 years old now is different than when we was 12 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they way
12
more.
12-year-old was actually a 12-year-old kid.
They way more advanced because they got shit like social media, the internet, everything like that. So they know a lot more than what we knew.
At 12, I was still collecting action figures.
The key word back then, these kids today, they had internet that was fast. We had internet dial-up. We had dial-up internet, so yeah.
That shit.
Let you try to
exit without social media.
Let you try to exit out of a page quick.
Right.
Yeah, to touch on another thing, like there was something I seen on social media saying that if it was a girl instead of his son, like it was a daughter instead of his son, how would people react to that?
Yeah, Boosie has a daughter too. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's the same thing. Like it's the same shit. It's wrong. It shouldn't be done. Just that and third. But it's an interesting question because
it's a double standard.
It is a little bit of a double standard because as a guy, you see that as oh, you the man, this, that, and the third, blah blah blah. You're cheering your son on. But had that been your daughter.
I'm shooting every nigga in the house. I'm shooting every nigga in the house.
To be honest, it needs to be that same energy for both because it's wrong. It's wrong for both. That's the thing. And I kind of got into an argument on Facebook today about that shit. But the thing was,
I got an argument with Beyonce about that.
I ain't
getting my ground.
The shit made no sense. Like my man's is the one that he shared the thing. And he asked, if it was a girl, how would people like react to it? And I said, that's a good question. And then this chick started going off about some totally off topic. She's like, people are born gay. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We talking about whether it's a girl or not. And she just went completely off the handle about shit. Like, far as I told her, like,
I mean, she was saving that up for you.
My whole thing is like, me personally, I don't feel like people are born gay. I feel like it's a choice.
The choice.
But that's my opinion. I told her that. And I said my opinion is that people aren't born gay. She was like, people aren't born gay. You don't do your research. You sound stupid. All this other stuff.
People aren't born gay. But the thing about that is like, people at any age switch up all the time. People who are bisexual who go from gay straight or straight to gay.
They're female.
At older age and younger age, boy and girl. So my thing about that is like, I don't think you're born gay. You choose. Because like I said, if you were born gay, you wouldn't have gay or lesbians switching or trying other stuff or going like, okay, I was gay for like my childhood. Now married with kids happen for like 5-10 years.
There are females out there that switch up all the time. 1 month they're gay, 1 month they're bi, 1 month they're strictly dickly. You like you said, you can't be born gay because you don't know. And so, but this is what I can say, that I do personally know a lot of dudes. They're not gay, but they're feminine. They have a little feminine touch to them, but they love females. But if you didn't know them, you would think, okay, that dude. But it's like, no, that dude has a girlfriend. It's just feminine. There's a difference. And then to me, I feel like you can be born feminine. In a way,
I don't think you can be born feminine. No,
I don't know.
You're influenced by your surroundings and how you become like freaking like that. Like, say if you usually,
to an extent, because you do have cases where like you have surroundings, but the boy just likes to, no offense to those who do it, but do ballet. Or like he likes feminine, or in other words, if you watch Disney movies,
usually
he gravitates towards Little Mermaid
I mean, straight dudes
more than Hercules or something like that.
Usually in those situations, a guy is around a lot of women, so he might either be with a single mom. She got a lot of sisters. He be around his aunties, his female cousins, and you are who you are around.
Yeah. That's like girls been around a bunch of dudes. They've been on, they're having single fathers and like that, or they around his boys all the time. Like,
and that's the one thing that back to not to cut you off what you were saying. That's one thing which I always say, like not to knock any single females out there, but a female cannot raise a son to teach him how to be a man. He can't. A female can never teach a boy how to be a man. He can't. She'll
only teach him her idea of what a man is supposed to be.
And she will only teach him her idea of and put into her son's head how he should treat a woman. She will never teach him how to do what a man can do, because only a man can show his son how to be a man.
A real man, because
Yeah, I mean him.
I had to throw that out there because there's some niggas out here that they ain't real right. But
I know who y'all are.
But yeah, like back to that whole thing, man. There's some freaking there's some studs that end up pregnant.
Yep.
So that whole being it happens. So that whole
I don't never understand that though.
If you was born gay, how you sit there getting pregnant?
Right.
That shit don't make sense to me.
Anything's possible.
There ain't no my whole thing is once you cross over, you really ain't going back. Especially if you a guy. There ain't no going back. Once you cross that fence, that's it. You gay. There ain't no I tried it to see if I like it.
Once you suck a dick, it's over, bro.
Like it's over.
Once a dick touch your lips, bro, it's a done deal.
Once you come within 20 feet of a dick, like you can if you look at it face value, it's over to me. Like what?
Bro, like it's a done deal. Like there ain't no crossing over. So that was my hope to get back on that. That was her whole argument, which came out of nowhere. It made no sense. And I clearly said that this is my opinion.
And I guess it's
you don't care about that.
Yeah, because some people always gotta feel right. And I told her, just because that you say it and that's how you feel, don't mean it's a fact.
I guess it's a double standard too with that, because from a guy's standpoint, you just said like once you do anything sexual, dude, there's no turning back. But if you have a woman who straight to, want to try.
Ain't no coming back from that either.
It don't come back from that either, but
Yeah,
they don't come back from that either. But at the same time, we don't have that same energy. If that same girl all of a sudden want to try dick again, you try it again, okay? Give it another shot. Make it be like, no, you lesbian now. Fuck that. You
can be gay for 20 years. If you hit that pipe, I'm sorry.
It's a done deal.
Like because you tried it. You tried it. Now, all right. Say if you tried it. No, it's the same thing. I'm not even gonna go there. It's the same thing. I don't know what the fuck I was just thinking right now. No, it's the same thing. And I have gay friends, so it's just like, I
got lesbian friends and gay friends, so ain't no shade, but it's just our opinion.
We had these conversations.
Yeah,
some people
agree with us.
That's another thing too. Like,
they agree with that.
How you can sit there and say somebody's born gay, and I've had gay friends sit there and tell me I chose to be gay.
Right.
So I don't understand that. There's people that agree, that say that they was born that way, whatever the case may be. I don't agree. My whole thing is this: if you gay, you gay.
Right.
Like that's it. It don't matter whether you believe that you were born gay. It doesn't matter if you believe that you was born gay or you chose to be gay. You gay.
You can spend 20 years. You can spend 20 years had a bad night and change your life, and that's it. That's all you do from now on. That happens all the time too. You're gonna say they're not gay because they had one of my lesbian friends. She was straight for a girl, turned around, but it was weird. Like she basically met a girl and she got drunk and one thing happened and she was pissed off at guys at the time and then she got turned out.
She lost the face.
Next thing you know, it was over. It was over. Like she got married to the lady, like she's happy and everything.
Nose ring and all that.
Came back with no nose.
Right.
Potato head.
But that's the thing. Like people got I don't understand people just spew this stuff out like it's just like that's just how it is. Just because that's how you feel, it don't work like that.
Right.
You can have your opinion on things just like all of us. That doesn't necessarily mean you're right. Like just for us having this conversation now doesn't necessarily mean we're right. But that's just how we feel about it.
Yeah.
So we gonna continue to say
we hate people that
No, doesn't mean that at all. We're just gonna continue to have our opinions about shit. We don't care about how people feel about it.
You know I don't care.
Nope. Like I got your
Like that's it.
opinion,
Point blank. Period. Like that's it.
What they say, period.
No, please, come on, yo.
Period.
Come on, yo. You really.
What I do?
You really on some shit this episode.
Oh, that's crazy, yo.
Where you go from not cursing then back to cursing, now you talk about some period.
You said period.
No,
I
like,
added a food.
period as in like that's it. None of that shit.
I'm just.
No, we don't do that here.
No period.
We don't do that period poo shit. Come on, bro.
Alright, comma.
Black influence, we don't do that here.
We don't do that here. Yeah, but I think we can wrap this up. I think we covered everything. Right? Anybody got anything to add?
You know, I do have something to add.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to all the viewers out there, I just want, this is, you don't got to comment on the video about what I'm about to ask you. I just want y'all to ask yourselves or ask another person, if you was in Boosie's situation, what would you do? Or if you was in D Wade's situation, what would you do? Just answer that question for yourself.
I want to answer that.
All right, Jay. If
I was in Boosie's situation, I wouldn't even do any of that. First of all,
okay.
Like that's nothing. I would just have a conversation with him, like how I would with any of my kids. When I do decide to have kids, I'm gonna have a conversation with them because I think you need to have these conversations more now than ever because you got all this social media and all this other stuff that can influence your kids into other shit. As far as like D Wade's thing, it'd be the same thing. I'm like, listen, son, I think you're confused. I don't think you know what you want to be. This is really how you should be. And if you feel like that, if you continue to feel like that, as you get older, if that's what you decide you want to do, then by all means, go ahead and do what you want to do. Am I going to be happy about it? No. But it is what it is. Like, you're an adult at that point, and I can't do nothing about it. You're still going to be my kid regardless. Like, so, but I'm still, like, if my kid ever decided to change their gender, I'm still calling them by the name I gave them. I don't care what they change their name to.
It's like, Dad, it's Samantha.
No,
it's Stan, nigga. It's Stan.
Stan, right.
Stan.
I gave you that name. That's what I'm gonna call you.
I thought of that name for 2 hours.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I'll say about that.
Right.
Well, other than that, that's what you want to decide to do.
I'm with you on that. Like if it's to me, my son, if he came to kids, but like, dude, if you have a son, he comes like, Daddy, I'm gay. Dude, at 12, whatever. I'll support that. I love you unconditionally. Of course, I would go like, I need to try again, but I love you. If you still choose to be serious, if you try to be, okay, I'll be straight daddy, cool. But a couple years later, I am gay. All right, I'd love you either way. I love either way. I'll support it, cool. But this is where I'm less liberal, more conservative. My line, what you're saying, my line will be crossed when he says and demands that I'm a she or my name is not Michael, it's Michaela. Under no circumstances will me personally justify that. Because to me, that is, you can have attraction to the same sex or in the lifestyle, dress like that. I'm not really a fan of that, like for my son, but okay, I'll still love him unconditionally. But the line where I start considering, okay, you're not gonna be dead to me, but I'll start like not love you less, but I'm gonna kind of cut you off in a sense, especially if you're older, like 18 or older, is when you demand I'm a she, my name is Michaela. No longer mine, because that's to me that's a slap in the face to me and my wife, like son's mom. You were born a god.
All right.
You first of all, put it this way, we want to go scientific with it. When you learn how to relieve yourself, were you sitting down or were you aiming? You were aiming. You were a boy. So you're gonna be a boy. Your mother made you. You are a boy. So I will not, like my son, I'm not going to call, no, you're going to be Michael to me, you're my son, and that's it. That's it. Ain't no, you're Michaela, she, I'm going to pronounce the pronouns as she, no. Point blank. He can get offended all he wants, but that's just where my line crosses with that. But in terms of the lifestyle you live, I'll support it. I'll support it, I love you, I'll push it, cool. But my line is always wrong with Dwayne Wade's thing, like the son must be called she, had the name change, no. That's you. Not happening. Not even about the age. If he was 18, I'd say the same shit, But that's
no matter if you're 40. I'm not calling you that. Like
now that's
like I'm not calling you that, bro. Like like fuck out of here.
I know for me, if I was Boosie, I wouldn't do that. I'll let him do that on his own. But if I was D Wade, on a serious note, I I hear what both of y'all are saying. You know, the one thing I fear, like I said, if I have a gay son or daughter, I'm still gonna love them unconditionally because those are my kids.
There's conditions.
I'm gonna still love them, but the one
you gotta stop that because there's conditions.
I'm saying.
I'm getting the point.
I get what you're trying to say. Not to cut you off, but people say conditions, but there is conditions. Like people say, "Oh, like I love your kid unconditionally." You're not gonna love your kid unconditionally because there's gonna be shit that your kid does that you don't agree with or that you're not really feeling.
But see, that's
you'll nip certain shit in the bud, but not.
My unconditional is more of
conditions, nigga.
Well, mine is not more of what they do; it's more of the internal. Like,
I get that part.
That's unconditional. But the one thing it's like a fear. Like, you know, if I, you know, ever have, you know, kids and if they are homosexual, you know, the world is cruel out there, you know, and there are a bunch of, you know, people out there that don't agree with, you know, those people's lifestyles and, you know, they attack people, they'll do whatever they have to do, and that's one of the things I do fear in that aspect, you know, and that's the one thing, you know.
I think now it's like it's so much accepted now.
Right.
It's accepted, but it's not accepted everywhere.
It's not.
It's not, but
it's the way it is now. Now is like the perfect time to be that because it isn't as frowned upon as it was like that.
Well, I'm talking about when I have kids. I'm not gonna have kids now, but when I do
have
kids,
about when you do have kids. Yeah, by the time they get to that age, bro, that shit gonna be even more like.
But you never know.
I can only see it going like. Being like more, it's already socially accepted now. Like
yeah, but you still gotta live in fear because of the unknown. That's what I'm saying. It's the unknown part of.
And that's forever.
That's other shit besides this.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I don't want my kids, you know, because they made that decision for themselves to live in fear because of that. Yeah, you know, and for me, I feel like D Wade in a way was just trying to be like, all right, if you want to be a girl, we're gonna do this. So he was trying to, in a way,
that's just in the private.
He was trying to be in a way.
If anything, nobody you right should have been private too. But I don't think that should have been.
I just felt like in a way, D Wade was trying to protect his son in a way, but doing it the wrong way.
Do the wrong way.
He's doing it the wrong way. I feel like if I was in that situation, I would go seek help for people that know.
Yeah, because everybody that you don't know, maybe people that that's in the front street. Not everybody that you never met in your life coming up to you making an opinion on it, right or wrong. Yeah. Like, if I'm already confused, they're going to make it worse because such and such says this, and they get, you know, especially in the world of social media, they can see any old thing behind a keyboard, you know, threatening your life or like bring up some stuff like, that's why your dad used to do this. Like, what? And at 12, you're still, you know, you're emotionally insecure. You're not mature enough.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, just thought about, I don't know if you have any more time.
We got time, bro.
Another aspect.
I got time.
All right. Another aspect of this, I'll take away the gay lesbian thing and Dwayne Wade for a second, but this is also discussing the whole Boosie thing about the double standard. So, my question to you guys, if this was, you had a son and a daughter 12 years old, and they had sex, I didn't forget the whole point about hiring a woman to do that, like, take that part out too. But this was also addressed, like, if they, 12-year-old daughter, 12-year-old son, and they got sexual with whatever at 12. Is your approaches the same way? I can tell you now, double standard, I don't care who likes it. I accept it, it's different. Like, I have the same, to me personally, it's the same. I'll go into it more once they answer first, but like, it's the same to an extent, but one gets hell raised more than the other. I'll let you answer that first. My opinion.
I'll agree to that because it's, you know, when you have a son, you know, it's more so a pride thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, your son out here, you know, doing his thing.
Smacking cheeks.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a pride thing for us. Like when it's your daughter, it's just like, yo, she like, what the fuck? Like your daughter in type of situation, you don't really want to picture that. Not at that age, but like, you know, like that whole situation will just fuck you up. So I get that whole double standard thing, but it could be the same way with like women, as far as like, you know, women, like if they have a daughter and they like, oh, you know, you're becoming a woman, this, that, and third. Maybe not at 12 years old, but you know, but as far as like with like a son, they might look at it a little bit differently.
Right. I know for me, it's across the board. I don't want none of my kids to have sex until they're ready.
Right.
And not at no damn 12 years old.
Yeah, 12 is a little.
Because like I said, for me, there's no shame in my game. For me, I was a late bloomer when it came to, having sex. I didn't my
shit.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up. I lost my virginity at the age of 17. So, and even then, it's because it's like a thing. Sometimes when it's your first time, you're never ready. You're never ready. But you're more mentally ready when you're older, like in your upper teens. But you're not ready. But at 12, no, I don't want none of them, son nor daughter.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want none of them because at the end of the day, like you said, they're still mentally insecure. Right. They don't know. It's easy to trick a 12-year-old to think it's something. It's easy. Yeah, like they're 12. You don't know. Hey, mom, the sky is blue. Nah, it's purple. Oh, maybe it is purple. Like it's easy. Like kids are gullible, and like you said, they're not mentally ready to take on that responsibility because they're still figuring themselves out. They're still figuring, why do I breathe the way I breathe? Why do I wake up? Do I wake up? Why do I look like this? They're still figuring all that out while growing into themselves, while trying to figure out who they are as a person. They're not ready. So for me, no, I don't want none of my kids, until they're mentally ready. And me, I say it all the time in a joking way, and I do mean it. I don't want no dicks in my daughter, like at all. I say in a joking way, I'm dead ass. But if it happens, it's
gonna happen.
Come on, bro.
I'm just saying, it's gonna happen. If you have a daughter, you gotta realize that at some point, that's what's in there.
Well, I'm ugly, so anybody fuck with my daughter, I'm ugly. So.
Shut the fuck up. It's just like, I will say this though.
I have an answer for that, but that would sound gay coming from me, so I'm not gonna say it.
Crazy.
This is a response.
All right, guys. This has been.
And we'll bring back to you at these commercials.
Now, my question to you, I guess, and other guys in that aspect. Let's just say, maybe not with sex. Let's just say you have a 12-year-old son, 12-year-old boy, and you catch him doing stuff. Whether it's sex, whether it's head, whether they're kissing, wherever you catch them, is your approach the same? Your vocal tone is it the same with your daughter and your girl, or one is a slightly off? Like, are you more pissed off to yourself with one than the other?
You're more pissed off at your daughter. I don't want. You can't.
It's just a natural thing.
It's like you walk in.
So you guys accept the double? Because I accept the double standard.
You have to, because there ain't no man that's going to see his son clapping cheeks and then be like, damn, what the fuck you doing this and get mad about it.
Right. If you walk in, if any of y'all walk in the door, you see your son in the living room making out with a girl, whatever. Are you stopping it, or are you going to let him finish?
I'm stopping it.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, what you doing?
How old's the girl?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what? I will. I wasn't allowed to have females at the house.
Like, I'm talking about over the age of 10. If my son's doing that under the age of 10, I'm stopping that shit. So don't get me wrong. I'm not that crazy.
No, all right, let's say
12. Under the age of what? Would you say what age?
That's like basically 12 up. Like 12 up. I'm like, if I see my son making out 12 up, I'm like, okay, cool. But under that, no,
I have girls over the house at 12.
I'm just saying, like, if I catch him at a park or whatever, like, wherever the case may be, like, I actually catch him doing
it. Rough Riders anthem is getting put on immediately. I'm fucking everything.
Yeah, if you see your son making out, to me personally, if I see my son making out 12 or older, like, and it's not, the girl's not over age, or it's not a situation where they can get arrested. Like, they don't know.
Is this? Like, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying, like, normally, like, a 12-year-old, they making out, whatever, and their pops walk in or their parent walk in, they gonna stop. They're not gonna keep going. They gonna see it. What you gonna keep going? You gonna look at your parents in the eyes and be like,
some niggas
that's the thing. Like, that's why some dudes would let people who are defending Boosie or say, like, 12 years old, like, I ain't stopping that. That's what dudes would say. Like, he ain't going all the way. Like, maybe not with Boosie, that's too far.
You ain't going to
just kiss him.
You ain't going to just keep doing that shit in front of me and just not stop. I'm like, listen, so now you disrespect me at that point.
Right.
Bro, I'll be like, yo, I'll choke both of y'all out.
That's the thing.
I can see it if I walk in.
If it's my daughter doing anything like that, even if it's minor, I'm choking everybody on sight. Like my son, I'll stop it, but I'll explain to him what's going on, like why he should be doing, need to be careful. I'll explain that. Daughter, I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm mad. Like,
that's stuff in my house. Then you go, yeah, nigga.
No, me, I'm gonna tell my son, don't be doing none of that shit in my house because I gotta go beat her dad the fuck up if he come crazy at you.
That's what I'm saying. Like you explain that, but if it was your daughter, you ready to fight the son, and you gonna fight the son's kid. Like you
ain't gonna be no ready. I am gonna fight the son.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna fight the son.
It is what it is at that point. Like I'm sorry. I'm not gonna apologize.
I'm gonna call his dad and
apologize for being a man. What we do?
It's just the nature of things.
I'm gonna call his dad. So you
like as men, we want to see our offspring succeed in any type of way, and kind of be like how we kind of was when we was a kid. Like especially when you see them growing up and becoming their own person and stuff.
You wanna know why? You wanna know why men feel like that? Because they're visualizing all the shit that they used to do at that fucking age, and then now it's like it's a flashback, right. And it's like, wait, my daughter? Hell no.
But then you think about your daughter like that, and it's just like it don't get the same.
It ain't the same thing.
It don't get the same energy. It don't. So.
Because when we see your daughter doing that, you think about all the shit like the guy's gonna tell his boys about your daughter. We used to say like, that's why I got Ornisha the other day, and like,
you
think all that now. She thinks about she like some discussion, like the nasty thoughts. Now you just
throw go.
Come on, yo.
That's his daughter.
And that's how it be though. When you was after you slayed, joined, this third, you like, yo, guess what?
Guess what I did, right?
Guess who I just knocked off?
That's crazy, y'all.
Whoa, word!
I'd call it Bell.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be
on. That phone call gonna get silent for 10 seconds. All you gonna hear is, y'all ain't gonna believe what happened. Conference call.
Right, it's not like you girl. But then your daughter's doing that. Do you think you felt as a dad? Like, damn, you make sure you gotta keep her off the pole, and she's thinking like, oh shit, like I feel as a
that's
dad.
Every father's job. Keep your daughter off the pole. That's every father's job.
Listen, we all going to have to deal with that at some point. So
now, if you have all boys,
well, yeah, if that's the case, then yeah. But if you have a daughter, you want to sit there and deal with that. You don't want to deal with it at an early age, but at some point, once your daughter becomes,
I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it when she goes to college. But I just don't want to deal with it.
She belongs to the streets after that.
You know the fuck she
She belongs to the streets. She belongs to the streets.
Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm not going this shit.
You said it now to your daughter. You paying her tuition to college. She's going to the streets. I pay tuition.
She get homeschooled.
Right?
And Corona ain't still rolling around.
Unless you moving in up there with her and she belongs to the streets.
Yeah. Y'all will.
Here's the other thing I'm saying. It's like right next door. Either way, when you find out your son's sexually active or your daughter's sexually active at any age, once you deal with them whatever like that, when you come back to yourself, which one you celebrate? To yourself, you're like,
where's my son?
At that it depends. Like if you like,
I never celebrate my daughter. My daughter taking dicks. It's like nigga,
exactly. It's weird. So that's what I'm saying. The whole point is that like we accept like it's okay. We get an argument. People are talking about it's double standard. Okay, so. Accept the double standard. That's what it is.
Like at some point, you're gonna accept that that's what's gonna end up happening.
Right.
Whether you have a daughter or a son, it's gonna end up happening at some point. So you can't stop it. Right. It's gonna sit there and happen. So don't try to be one of them people that try. Cause I've seen this firsthand. The ones that want to do the most freak shit is the ones that they pops keep trying to like keep them in a cage and shit. And as soon as they get loose. Don't go.
If my first kid is a daughter, I'm telling the hospital, you might as well keep it. You know what I'm gonna do.
Man's worst thought process, like you have a daughter and she's your little angel for 15, 18 years, and next thing you know, she's in the streets, she's head queen now. That's the worst thought, man.
Yo, I'll go into a deep depression. I'm gonna keep it deep with you. My wife, girl, whoever at the time, like, what's wrong? Like, you don't see what I'm doing?
I can see you now. You take your daughter to the prom, and then you catch her date, like when she turned around, he's doing this and shit. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna be doing the same thing when
it's okay. I'll be the same exact way. I'm like, what's doing this for? What you trying to do? Like, I know.
I'm doing 50 Cent in what's that movie?
What is it? Dinner Wars.
To the thieves.
To the thieves.
To the thieves.
You had all the homies in there, like, yeah, y'all niggas better be back.
If you gonna have the homies in there, make sure them niggas work out, bro, because you can't have no sloppy niggas. Niggas will be like, bro, I'm whooping his ass easily. Like, I'm not afraid of him.
Oh, I already know who I'm gonna bring with me.
You gotta show them the tech.
Bro, you already know.
I already got a list of niggas.
If you bring me, you already know it's gonna be chitty chitty bang bang.
And I'm just gonna do it just to fuck around. I'm not gonna do it to be serious. I just want to,
be serious.
Yeah, I know you gonna try to do it to be serious.
I ain't gonna try. I'm gonna do.
I'm not gonna be serious.
I'm like, come here, bro. We holla at you. No, we got the limo. Fuck the limo, nigga.
No, to me as a man, in that case, it's gotta be serious to an extent, especially in a situation where you're putting her in the hands of a guy.
It's serious to a certain extent.
You ain't giving her the ride. You in the limo that he paid for, or his car, whatever it may be. It's in his. He has control over her well-being for that time period.
I'm gonna do the same.
This is the first time you gave.
I'm gonna do the same speech and everything.
The
same speech.
Any man would. You're giving him giving him power.
The past 16 years, my daughter's safety has been my responsibility. Now I gotta see that I gotta give that responsibility to you.
Y'all doing it wrong. I'm going Denzel for training day. Why did he go to the door? Okay, so you picking my daughter up, huh? Okay, let's step this way real quick. Oh yeah, I'm whooping his ass. That's what's gonna happen. Ain't gonna be no fucking dance. Dance over.
So same scenario. You have a son, you go to prom, he taking control of a girl. You give him a condom?
What? I'm playing Uncle Luke in the two-lot crew. Do the real. Hey.
But that's just what it is. That's just the life we live in. You just gotta accept it for what it is. We ain't doing nothing less.
Or don't date or don't date our kids. Please don't date mine. Date mine.
They gonna do it anyway.
No, it's gonna happen.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap this up. Well, Brandon, I want to thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Coming through. So you guys, this is what we're trying to get other people to do. Holler at us. What they want to talk about. Coming to the show. And just sit there and chop it up. We have a good time here. We try to have a good time.
Well, I have a fucking blast.
You was on some bullshit earlier.
Nah, but see, I'm trying to be conservative, Jay.
Man, fuck that. This ain't a conservative show.
I got, I'm sponsored by Coke.
No, we not. We no sponsors. None of that. They ain't cut no check. We not have to edit that shit out off his shirt.
What?
Yeah, nigga, ain't no free publicity.
You get away with that's the old Coke. That's the Coke.
That's
the old Coke.
Matter. You sit there and said Coke. Now they just made $5 million just because you sit there and told they was fucking Coke.
We ain't getting shit,
and we ain't getting shit from it.
And they ain't gonna get shit either.
They gonna get something.
They ain't gonna get none of me. I ain't got shit.
So
I got $5 million.
Make sure we not doing that. Ain't no more free publicity, man.
So now I gotta start wearing plain shirts now.
Hey man, well yeah.
We got Arizona.
Turn my shirts inside out.
Not no shit with no label brands that ain't paying us.
We got Arizona iced tea in the shot.
No, you can't see that.
You can't see that.
Okay, so now they know what's in there.
Well, he did that. That's not my fault.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm gonna do.
This would be the bullshit I've been talking about.
Here we go. It's always my fault, y'all.
Remember what Quad did? No free sponsorships. I'm not even gonna say the brand. Because that's more free publicity. They gotta start cutting checks or sponsoring or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Can I give a special shout out before we go?
Might as well. We already got everything else out and open.
Also, per my last appearance on the show, I also want to make continuance. I want to send a shout out to the Beehive out there.
This guy.
Fan base, shout out to the Beehive.
Wait, why is it your last appearance?
Shout out to the Beehive. As I said before, shout out to the Beehive for all the things you do to entertain me. But more importantly, fuck y'all. Because first of all, I'm tired of telling y'all making dumb and outlandish things. Let Beyonce be great.
They go Facebook messages.
They acted a fool earlier this week. Another comparison came out saying Beyonce was a better dancer than Janet Jackson in terms of legacy and everything like that. Just a better dancer. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart and my soul and my dick, fuck y'all for saying that shit. Let Beyonce live. She's a great honor. As I mentioned something about y'all in the last appearance, why I said that. But first of all, stop with the outlandish stuff. Let Beyonce be great on her own. Stop comparing her to old legends. She's a legend by herself in this era. Keep her there. Stop.
You preaching to the choir.
Stop.
You see the vein coming out of his neck, boy?
Stop. Like, please. Stop. Let her be great.
And on that note,
ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Subscribe.
You're right. Subscribe like we medicine.
I
What's in that cup? Nigga said prescribe.
Chill. My bad. That's my mess up.
Yeah, you already heard him. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
So what?
I said subscribe.
What the
subscribe?
All right, yo, we ended this shit till next time.
I said subscribe. Like the fuck? I can't say it the way you say it.
Subscribe.
I'm saying it like that.
Just subscribe.
There ain't no shit in it. It's subscribe.
Subscribe.
No, you said subscribe.
I said subscribe. Subscribe.
Anyway, this is Jay.
This is 90s baby stuff right here. It's 90s babies.
Anyway.
I'm just saying.
When were you born?
80s, 87.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. As I was saying, like, I was 12 in 2003, right? Around the time, 2003? So,
yeah.
To me, 12 years old, my Destiny's Child, the role they played in my life at 12 years old was basically, I guess, Sierra Dion. You know.
I don't know. But anyway, till next time, this is Jay. This has been Lit Logic. You already know what to do. Peace. Till next time.